Here's everything I got up to on my allotment plot in August, starting off with digging some defined borders around our planting beds. It's hard to see where the grass stops and the planting begins, so I was desperate to get started on this job. To start, I took a string line to give me a guide. I dug a few inches into the ground and then took off the top layer of grass. I started on the right hand side of the plot before moving on to the left. That looks a lot better. Now all I need to do is keep on top of those edges.
Get this one.
This month, we had some unwelcome visitors on the plot. It's been a week since we first saw caterpillars on this broccoli, and this is the damage that they've done. We've been down every single day to put a mix of washing up liquid and water over them, pick off any caterpillars that we can see, but they've just kept coming back and we've not been able to keep on top of them, unfortunately. So broccoli is probably not on the cards for this year. When I first planted the broccoli, I did put netting over to protect it, but as it grew bigger and bigger, I've heard that it can sustain itself on its own, even if it gets a little bit of an attack by caterpillars, but this was just too much to contend with. So, lesson learned. Next year the netting will go on and it'll stay on until all the broccoli is picked. Let me know if you've had any issues with caterpillars this year and what you've done to prevent them or stop them when you get a bit of an attack. Now it's time to make a new bed for our strawberries. Whilst cutting out the borders, I decided it was time to move our strawberries that were planted in some buckets and get them into their own bed, as they were starting to look a little worse for wear. Going into next year, I want to start a no-dig approach on the allotment. So here I'm making, again, some deep defined borders and topping off with some rotted down horse manure before replanting the strawberries. Now all I'll need to do is keep on top of the weeds and top up with fresh compost or manure each year. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already to see how we get on. Let's have a look at how some of the produce is getting on. The beans are coming on nice, considering we only had a few plants that survived the slug onslaught early in the year. Broccoli, not so well. Courgettes are rampant. The potatoes look like they're on death's door, but we've had a really good crop of these this year. I'm pretty proud of how the greenhouse is looking at the moment, and we're getting lots of tomatoes. Strawberries are settling in nicely, and our flowering plants are slowly but surely coming into their own. Now, with all this veg we're getting, I need something a little more practical than the kitchen sink to clean it all. I started off by cutting a scrap piece of fencing down to size. smoothed off any sharp edges with a sanding blade. Then I started making the frame. Once that was made, it was time to hold them together with some washers and screws. Then I made a frame to go around it. This will be screwed into the wall of the house. Then I added hinges to hold them together. Then I added some latches to hold it up when it's not in use, and finished off with a chain on each side to hold it level. Now it's ready to go on the wall. And just like that, we have an alternative to washing those dirty vegetables in the sink. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to stay up to date with everything that's happening at the allotment.